and hear us.
All right, I'm going to move.
I don't even know where my browser is. Let's see. Oh, hey, that looks good. Okay, let's see. Mew's in the middle. McCullough's on the left. I'm on the right. Yep, okay, we're good. So that part works.
Nope. Let's see, my lighting's all changed too. I'm going to have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Wah.
Oh, there you go.
Wah.
That'll work. Now you look dark and mysterious behind you.
With cat ears.
With
yes.
cat ears,
yes.
Well, and they're glowing.
The cat ears,
wait.
That's what they do.
Hang on. There we go.
There you go. There you go.
All right. All right. Hey, thank you.
Yay! All right. Thank you, Malung. We appreciate it.
I need to hang on that.
Ooh.
Show notes.
Aha.
What?
Consolidations.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, and there's Lucy, so we can give her the congratulations.
Linked in person.
All right.
I too can see in here, but maybe not always us.
All right. We're good?
Yeah, let's do this.
You good?
I am logging into it's. I can do this later. I was just going to bring up chat so I can actually talk to them, but that's okay.
Doris.
Yeah. All right.
Bad Doris.
Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
congratulations are in order.
New York is filled with warlords.
Bring out your mats.
Ishgard Restoration Part 2 is a go.
And guys, evidently due to social isolation, we're talking to ourselves.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
All right. Welcome to episode 339 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Iacta Est gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Tetsemi. To my left and upstairs is... No. You changed things on me. To my left... Wait a minute. Yes, to my left is Mew Cow.
Greetings, Garrison and Guildies.
And to my left and upstairs is McCullough.
Technically, I guess I am, yeah, to your left and upstairs. All right. Hey, guys, I have fully stocked the guild kitchen for your sweet tooth needs. There's lemon bars, lemon honey poppy seed cake, and soon there's going to be apple strudel.
Very cool. All right.
I have been told that there is no dieting during a pandemic, so we're good to go.
Yeah, you know. So, what are you going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we are doing an all-host show this evening, so we're going to start out with what we've been doing to keep from going stir-crazy both in real life and in-game. So, Mew, what have you been up to?
Not too different from usual. And I was originally getting more into Division 2, but suddenly it felt a little too real. So I've been playing a little bit more Fallout 76 because that felt like, well, let's get ready for it. Get some trading in. But no, it's been fun because I've been trying to kind of to prepare my character for the coming Wastelanders, which is hopefully still coming, I believe, April 7th, I think, is the date. When it actually becomes a Fallout game, and there's NPCs with decision trees and factions and all kinds of other fun things going on. So
and
story, amazing thing called story. So yeah, that's what I've been preparing for that. Other than that, we'll talk more about it, but definitely enjoying the Ishgard restoration stuff. It is. I like how almost self-contained that whole system is, and it's actually good that they didn't make it fully self-contained. But we'll discuss that in Final Fantasy 14. But anyway, yeah, I've been enjoying that. and a little bit more WoW enjoyment, especially with some of the latest changes. It's getting there.
It's getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there, especially as of Tuesday, when we can actually buy those level 3 essences on your alts. That's the big thing. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we have alts. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what that little change feels like. By the way, you have alts. Because yeah, it's actually kind of funny because of the way that my my druid and my warrior were playing. My druid has level 3s that my warrior has, and my warrior has level 3s that my druid doesn't have. So
Right. Yeah.
I'm actually going to benefit from that change because there's stuff that would be useful to have, but it's like, you know what? I don't want to spend the time.
Yeah.
It's just, I've done it once. I don't want to do it again. And maybe that's what they're seeing. Maybe they're actually seeing a lot of that where people have like stuff, level 3 essences scattered across the characters, and they got the numbers. I know for a fact that they can see numbers like that in game. They have a very good numbers crew over there that is able to see all these data points and able to crisscross them and do the crazy conspiracy lines all over the place to see what goes where. So that's why stuff like this happens, is they see it. They see it changing.
Also,
in real life,
for the past 3 months since they, or however many months since they introduced essences, that
but you don't know. You don't know what you want, though. You don't know.
Yeah.
You think you want it, but you don't.
How dare you?
No, you think you want it, but you don't.
Yeah.
But that's been it for the most part in gaming. In real life, that's just mostly just honestly our stocking. Like, we didn't go crazy for the toilet paper and the hand sanitizer like everyone was doing, because that didn't make sense. What we actually stocked up on was stuff to entertain ourselves at home.
Nice.
Especially keeping a toddler busy.
Right.
Yeah. That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, it is.
Because I can't just sit him in front of a computer and have him help me heal in dungeons. It doesn't quite work that way yet. But yeah, we bought some lawn bowling and just balls, like just standard balls, just something to play with. Just stuff like that. I bought some indoor, those nice soft mats that are kind of like puzzle piecage, so you can kind of do some workouts inside, like stuff like that. Just I figured we'd be getting nice and comfy together, so let's get some stuff so we don't go stir crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
As long as you didn't get lawn darts.
Nah, they won't let us get those anymore, I don't think.
I know. Hey, we survived lawn darts. It's all good. What about you, McCullough? What have you been up to?
Baking a lot.
Yes.
So yeah. So we had tickets to Pod Save America for last night, but the event rightfully got canceled, and then I realized
it was Pie Day.
Yep.
Which meant that the entire menu had to be pie based. So we had a shepherd's pot pie, a chicken pot pie, which honestly I think is the best one I've ever made.
It was
and
amazing.
I've done all my alterations, and then I also made a blackberry sour cream pie,
which was also amazing.
Right. So and then today I started stress baking. I decided to invite all of our friends, like, hey guys, open house the next 2 nights for just come over for dessert. So I have been, what I mentioned on the top of the show, I have like 2 desserts already made, and I'm making another one tomorrow when I get out of work. Yep. Besides that, rolling the dice. So before I made dinner last night, we had a great gaming session with our Tadpole game group. We finished up what we thought was a hag battle. Well, we thought we finished up the hag battle. We defeated her, at least temporarily. We then went back to the manor house to see if everything had been restored, and it hadn't. We found out then that the Lord of the Manor had made a contract with the hag. And basically his life and everyone in the castle, very, very beating the beast. Basically his fate was intertwined with theirs. So clearly we didn't kill the hag because nothing's been restored.
Yep.
So then we went, So then we went back to the cave, fought a troll, and now we're on our way to go back to teleport to a different dimension to go fight the hag. Really great time. As times go. The good thing is though, this time we'll be fighting the hag hopefully with all of our spells.
That would be useful.
Because that was very challenging because our DM did some really, really great great resource management or resource draining on us. And by the time we got to the hag, I think we had the other cleric and I each had 2 spells, and I think our mage had 1 left.
Yeah.
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 So that was last night. Yesterday afternoon. My regular Thursday group still going strong. We're almost done with the very long slog that's Storm King's Thunder. We managed to not kill someone for once. Which is pretty unusual.
Wait, you can do that in D&D?
Uh-huh. We tried to first. We were disguised as Arakota Semuli. So basically they were illusionary Arakoa type of thing that are in this particular castle. We had disguised ourselves as them. We went to the giant we're dealing with. We broke out of jail first, of course.
Right.
We went to the giant we're dealing with. We went to her assistant. And basically we forgot that we were illusioned to look like the Arakoa. So we're like, okay, we need you to surrender. And he did. And he's like, wait, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And he started casting to see what spell was on us. And we kind of beat him down a little bit. And then we turned him into a toad. But we did not kill him. As you do. As you do. So, and then Monday we had our regular game, which was the last in person, the only one that we do in person. And we had one hell of a will-o-wisp fight. Oh my God. Which ended up really pissing off the DM when the mage kept casting hypnotic pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what I've been doing when it comes to rolling the dice and then just dealing with work and stuff. Hey, Ted, what have you been doing?
What have I been doing? So, WoW chores. Finally got exalted with the Rajani, which was good because that got access to the permanent battle rune. It's 50,000 gold, but it's once an hour you get 60 to your strength, int, and stamina.
Does it go away when you die, or how does that work?
Well, no, I'm sorry. The buff lasts an hour. The cooldown on it is whatever. So it's not an hour cooldown. I don't know if it goes away when you die.
Because if it's like the old ones that you had like a 5 or 10 minute cooldown, but
right.
It was just like a regular rune. Otherwise, like it went away if you died. So
I think it does.
So
but no more having to run ship missions to get battle runes or buy them off the auction house, that sort of thing. So
yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, FERT team, I put like 18 of them in the guild bank for FERT. So if you need them, go get them. I've got less than 1,000 rep away from getting the Uldum rep finished up. So wait, did I get those? Yeah. Rajani is Vale and Uldum Accord, whatever it is. So
yeah, that
I just
sounds
need to
about
work
right.
on the Uldum one. I don't even know what you get for Exalted from them, but I'm sure it's something useful. But I've been doing that. The thing is, once I get that rep to Exalted, I will have gotten 100 Exalted reps, and I can get the mount, which is what I've been after. Since they said, okay, we're gonna have two more reps this expansion. I was at 98. Okay, we're good. And then dove headfirst into the Ishgard Restoration. If you have any profession at level 10 and you've completed the Ishgard storyline, you can go participate in the restoration, and it is really good experience. And as you level up and do story stuff on your crafting, you get experience scrolls that will be good for like 6 million or 12 million experience. I think you get those at level 60 and level 70 if I remember. as part of the crafting story. But I went from level 30 on my miner to level 77 right now since Tuesday. And that was just running the diadem. My poor retainers inventory is almost overflowing because I've just been like, some of the retainers shove it all off. Some of the retainers shove it all off. But I did pick up the Cerebus pup, so now I have the 3-headed dog following me around. I got lucky on the Kupo cards, and I got the blue parasol. So now I have the parasol. So now I can click that, and she stands with a blue parasol over her as a emote. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I started.
It's a very interesting system.
It is. And then I said, well, I've got all this ore and everything else stored on my retainer. Let me start working on my armor smith armor smith. This should be fairly easy to level up. And I looked at what you needed, and I'm like, okay, you need all this ore I just gathered, but then you need regular iron ore. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it's smart that they did that, because honestly, if they made it a self-contained system, then they've pretty much just that's just it. You'd never leave, and then everyone out there that's actually trying to do other stuff is like, where'd everyone go?
Right. No.
Where'd everyone go?
And it's funny because I'll go out, like I needed iron ore, so I go back to a level 15 area to get the iron ore, and there's people like around the dungeon. There's people following me around to mining nodes. I'm like, oh, they're all doing the same stuff. So yeah, no, they've integrated the two areas really well, that you're constantly in both areas, and neither is completely self-contained.
And I like that they've done that like across the board. Like you're going to see level 80s doing level 10 or level 16 dungeons, and you're going to see those high level miners with the low level miners. It's kind of interesting to see that.
It is,
because they would essentially crash the environment, like, because people are making a lot of money selling all the diadem stuff, of course. Yeah, but it's actually it's giving life to the old material, so it's not just obsolete, because it's like, why would they just drop that on the floor? Like, it seems kind of silly.
Yeah, exactly. So I got my armor from level 20 up to level 40. And then I've got my black mage up to level 74, I believe, because I'm doing the pixie dailies. So I'm almost into 75. I think I'm on the last reputation bar with them. I think I've got 2 more gates to open up, I think. So that's been a fun storyline to do as you hit the Exalted. But that's the thing. If you play Final Fantasy XIV, it's not about the systems. It's about using the systems to get to the story beats, because every single system in the game has at least a story every 5 levels, 1 through 50. And then once you get or 1 through 60, I forget. 1 through 50, but once you get
I think of 50,
once you get past that, then there's, it's like at 52, 55, 58, and the final one. So you're always hitting story beats, no matter what you're leveling up or no matter what you're working on. Unless you have everything at 80, there's story out there, and that's what I really like about that. So
yeah, you're always learning some interesting thing. It's I mean, even the raids do that. Like I've been doing the Eden stuff, the new Eden dungeon, Eden raids, and it's so interesting that if you actually talk to the characters and dig in, like, I'm learning things about Thancred.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually talking about his life before, and it's just interesting because it's like, it's this whole new world, whole new thing you're doing, but they're actually throwing in little bits of lore from the original parts of the game.
Fun.
Stuff that happened in 1.0.
Yeah, exactly. And the big thing is, Ishgard was 2 expansions ago, and yet that's the focus of the story for the crafting and the profession stuff, because you're essentially story spoilers, it was 2 expansions ago. Rabbit.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, 2 weeks past, darling. It's fine.
Yeah, you're restoring. part
if
of
I
the
go to
city
that
that
I'll
got-
forget. So.
Yeah, you're restoring part of the city that got destroyed by the dragons. So they need a lot of materials and a lot of supplies. And the good thing is they made it a scoreboard this time, and like you've got like a week to get as much as you can, turn in as much as you can, and you get these scripts to go buy stuff. for a gatherer, and with the crafters you get the scripts, but you also get essentially lottery cards, and depending on the quality of the material you turn in, the collectability of it, the higher the chance of like the number one item being on that card. By default, I think it's like the 2 through 5 are on there, and there's like 5 spaces, and it's like you can pick this one, which is guaranteed to have the highest return, but also the most chance for failure, or you can try and pick one of these 4 that has a better chance. And it's an interesting system. It's a gold saucer type system with the Kupo cards. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
You can get some interesting Moogle outfits as well, apparently.
Yeah. And I forgot, because I stumbled across this is the other interesting thing is when you're doing these professional crafting quests, they're taking you back in storyline, and I completely forgot to pick up the next beat of the Eden part because it wasn't in a major city. It was in it was in that hub, and one of my crafting
Ward Sook.
Yeah, one of my crafting things took me there, and I'm like, oh, what's that story beat? And I'm like, oh, Eden, I forgot to pick it up. So now I've got that part of it where you're past picking up somebody new and having to deal with what they're doing now. So, yeah. But
that's an interesting story.
Yeah. Like I said, if you like story, it's got
everywhere.
It coming out. That's all it is. I mean, they put, Blizzard puts gameplay first in WoW with story a close second. Final Fantasy is story first and then gameplay right after it. So it's the two games have flipped. So.
Yeah, and you can't go 5 feet without stumbling over more story.
Exactly. And like I said, since you can play all the jobs on one character and do all the professions and do all the gathering on one character, there's always, things to switch an out to. Like I said, I'm doing gathering, armor crafting, leveling up a class, doing end game story, all on the same character, and I don't feel like it's a burden to do it. It's amazing.
Right.
No, that's great for raids too.
That's such a great feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as long as you've got your base 8 people, anyone could be the tank, anyone can be the healer, and anyone can be the EPS, and you can just rotate around depending on who's got good gear.
That's fabulous. Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. Well, that is what we have been up to. Let's find out what AIE has been and is up to in all the games that AIE plays in.
AIE News.
News. All right. In community news, welcome to Lucy, our newest AIE officer who's focusing on ESO, Lord of the Rings Online, and SWTOR. Our congratulations go out to her. If you'd like to read more about her, on the AIEguild.org, we've linked it in the show notes, there's a new AIE officer post all about Lucy. So
awesome.
Congratulations, condolences, welcome aboard.
We let her know where we keep the brain bleach, right?
Yep.
I need to make sure that's fully stocked.
Exactly. All right. And in Mandatory Fun Nights, which Lucy has been helping with, there is mandatory fun, but not mandatory attendance. Although, what else are you going to do?
Right, guys. Yeah. You really don't go outside much, so come play.
Sunday, possibly happening in a few minutes, depending on how the STO crew is doing. 8:30 p.m. Eastern is STO Mandatory Fun Night. On Monday, Guild Wars 2, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday is SWTOR at 9 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday, Final Fantasy 14, 9 p.m. Eastern, and that is the introductory fun night. What do you need to work on? Let's get a group together and go do it. As opposed to some of the other nights, which are more, I think Tuesday and Thursday are more raid focused for them. Friday is ESO Mandatory Fun Night, which is led by Dan Kinia. And Friday is Final Fantasy 14 Late Night, and that again is more of another get together, get a group together and do stuff. And Saturday is Lord of the Rings Online at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Saturday is New Braid, again led by Dan Kinya and WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern. And Final Fantasy XIV Map Night is 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Right now, we're focusing on level 80s, but if there is demand and interest in it, we can go back and do the level 60 and the level 70 just to see them and do it in. But like I said, if you're level 80, just show up. We've got maps. You don't even need to bring your own,
It's really easy to level your crafters right now, so you can get your own maps too.
Exactly.
Great.
Yeah, in fact, I got 4 maps while I was gathering outside the diadem to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and just a reminder, sorry. Tuesday is 8 p.m. max time. He was confused.
Thank you.
We've clarified.
You had the
max.
time zone wrong.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll update the template to make sure that reads max time.
Speaking of Max, in streaming and guild podcast news, SWTOR Escape Podcast 329. Someone set us up the sets. Turns out someone set us up the sets, as we said. So we talk about all the new sets and the rest of 6.1.1 updates on the PTS and detailed in the dev posts this week. Following that, we have Escape Podcast 330, The Nature of Progression. Since they are now Ducks and experts, they finally talk about all the fights. They also circle back on that discussion of the Veteran's Edge stack change and its impact on master modes. Then I'm guessing this is
Yes.
Oh yes, sorry. That's Working Class Nerds.
Yeah, their episode 67, Kicking It with Kogas. Marcus and Nick get to hang out with friend of the podcast, Kogas. They all discuss what they've been playing for games, make fun of Nick for not playing enough SWTOR, and look forward to the newest updates coming to SWTOR. Then, following that, in episode 68, coronavirus has infected our video games. I hope that hasn't happened. Marcus and Nick sit down with Clickbait's Rhett to talk about how the recent coronavirus outbreak is affecting our gaming lives. I would guess that would make more gaming.
Yeah, definitely.
That seems to be the idea.
I mean, Ted's not leaving his chair. Oh, never
Wait.
mind.
Yeah, I know. I was like, nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Except with all the rain, the lawn needs cutting, so I will be
The
leaving
lawn
the chair
desperately
to, yeah.
cutting before we start losing the pit bull in there.
I know.
All right. And Nomads, we have a Division 2. They launched their first expansion to the game, The Warlords of New York, which picks up with the storyline from Division 1 as the agents return to New York. The level cap has been raised to 40, and new content is live with the introduction of the season of the game. With the introduction of seasons to the game's roadmap. New seasons will occur every 3 months and contain rewards and special manhunts for rogue agents that continues the Division story. The AIE clan is nearly at 50 members, with many returning players returning for regular nightly play. We're currently seeing an average of 20 people online per day since the launch. There's still some room in the clan. Make sure you reach out to us in the AIE public Discord if you want an invite or have submitted an in-game app that needs approval.
Yep, and you'll need to get through most of the tutorial to actually get into the clan, so just so you
Good
know.
to know.
Yep, exactly. All right, and in WoW news, HFO is still recruiting. They're up to roughly 15 members, and they're 5 of 12 in normal. Reminder that there is an alliance side, and they want to boost the numbers. New alts, transfers, and cross-realm friends are all welcome. Gusty's Trial of Style event is next week, Saturday. I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Great.
But keep an eye out.
right.
We'll have a blog post up soon if it's not up already. And the Horde raid teams are kicking butt and taking names.
Yes.
Yep, still at it, including Fert that actually got a heroic boss down.
7
Yes.
of 12 and 1 of 12 heroic. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That was amusing. I overheard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back in time to WoW Classic, the bag supply is currently low. If anyone is able to donate mats or completed bags, please email or in-game mail them to Nevermore. We want to make sure our AIE guildies have bag space while they adventure in WoW Classic. AIE mounts is still running, but it's slowed down a bit, obviously. The guild, a Guildian Classic around level 70 made a plea for bags. That's why we put the plea up on top. So Lars was able to jump onto his tailor and made a bunch of these small silk packs for them, which those are still powerful. It's kind of weird to think of, and as long as we've been in regular WoW, it's like, oh yeah, those were powerful little packs. I delivered right in Mulgar, and I was very happy to see the request go out. Lars was very happy to help out, so it's good to see guildies helping guildies. But just so you know, people are playing. Just got to reach out.
Or
Excellent.
join
All right.
and play yourself.
Or join. Yeah.
Yes. In STO news, the big news is that the fleet's embassy diplomacy rank is leveling to level 2 to tier 2. It'll be complete in 5-ish days. It unlocks a couple of things, most notably threat scaling science consoles Mark 11. They're continuing to work on getting the fleet Spire research to tier 2. Notable in-game events is the Battle of the Binary Stars. If you complete this daily 14 times before March 26th, get on that. You get a new universal kit for your captain, DOT-7 drone fabrication. This allows your captain to create combat pet, which while off on away missions to assist you in fighting whatever you happen to encounter. The event also counts towards a new T6 ship event campaign. Over the course of a few events, you earn progress towards getting a choice between 100% discount coupon for a tier 6 starship or warbird and 200 lobby crystals, which of course is an in-game currency, or 1,000 lobby crystals.
Yep.
And in SOTOR news, mandatory fun nights continue with rampages, operations, and anything else they can think of. All are welcome. Last Friday, they had our March Mega. Marcus led us on a world boss crawl. It's like a pub crawl, but with little more boss killing. Officers posted themselves all over the galaxy so they could just summon the group to each boss. It was great fun. Stay tuned for more info on the next Mega.
What, summoning a group to you? That's
I know.
an interesting
It's
ability.
unheard of. Game breaking.
Yeah. Well, speaking of other fun stuff, Final Fantasy XIV, as we talked about, Ishgard Restoration Part 2 has been released with the latest patch. It reintroduces Diadem. It was an interesting idea back in the day, but it just didn't get anywhere. It was kind of weird. It definitely is doing a lot better now. It's a place to gather materials that are unique to the restoration effort. Whether you're a novice gatherer or a crafter or a seasoned vet, you can still help out and gain rewards and experience. The neat thing is, or the interesting thing is Restoration Part 1 supplies are now essentially useless.
Yeah.
You can't find them. You can use them if you still have them, but like they wanted to make sure you didn't try to hoard a bunch of stuff to be ready for Part 2.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because that was kind of the problem they had with the first one. It's like they kind of like super ganged up on Part 1, and it was over in a couple days. And you're like, whoa, that was supposed to last weeks.
Yeah.
You guys were a little too prepared.
Right.
So that was interesting.
You were too prepared. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In the next few weeks, the first step of the Shadowbringer's Relic Weapon questline will begin. The Return to Ivalice quest series from Stormblood is a prerequisite, so let us know if you want help to get a guild run together to get you through it. It's a really fun raid series, but again, it was optional. It's the one that's in the airship, the theater airship that's floating above Kugane.
Okay.
So you might not have done it. It's kind of out of the way. But once you get it started, it's basically going back to an older Final Fantasy a game, going to the place there and having characters related to it and all that kind of fun stuff. It's a great series. Lots of really cool stuff going on, and I think it's the first place that the Viera had appeared, and that's how we knew they were probably going to be a playable race.
Makes sense.
They appeared in there.
Is that the
Right.
one with the 4 delta, like the alpha, beta, delta quadrants, or is that another?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's Omega.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I've done Omega. I got to go back and find this other thing then.
Yeah, go to Kugane. That's just it is. It's unassuming. It's just a little quest there. If you have a high enough level, it should pop up now.
Okay.
But yeah, just talk to the person. They'll tell you to go to the airship tower, and then that's where it all starts up. And then you do some interesting stuff.
Cool.
Awesome.
See,
All
more
right,
story I have to go do.
Yeah.
There you go, boo. Go. Guild Wars 2 news. Expansion is announced for later this year, but there is no details just yet. Mandatory Fun Night continues on Monday nights. Keep an eye out for an organized Nomad's raid into Guild Wars 2 sometime in the next month or so. And of course, as soon as we hear anything, we will let you know.
Exactly. In ESO news, Update 25 and Hero Storm launched a couple of weeks ago, and as part of MFN, they are spending time in the new dungeons. As usual, as we said, MFN is Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. max time, and we run dungeons, clear zones, kill enemies, and Kenny leads group off cliffs and in circles.
Yep.
Which she
That's one
does.
does.
Yep.
I'm their leader. Which way to... Woo! Anyways,
Yep.
I'm going to start IMing her that at work.
And in Eve news, wow, there's a bunch of stuff that I have no idea what it means, but it's probably how they like it. Winter Co. EN military deployment to go shoot baddies. Location is OPSEC. Not sure about the duration, as there are conflicting reports on how long it's ongoing. Should be some fun pew-pew time for those involved. If you want a place to basically just sequester yourself and just play a game for days on end, Eve is waiting for you. Because you can just disappear and just grind stuff for weeks and weeks, and then you'll come up and there was a sequester. I was just playing this game, so
Yeah.
All right. And in Lord of the Rings Online, Spring Festival scheduled to start on March 19th, which is Thursday. So be ready for some awesome festival. Stay tuned in the Lotro channel for upcoming events planned for the next month.
Yep. All right. Well, that gets us to the end of the guild and the guild activities and the guild news, but we still have a little bit of time. So, McCullough, what gaming event have you done recently or in the past that kind of reminds you of what's going on now?
Well, I mean, there's always, the plague and WoW.
Yep.
Honestly,
yeah,
that's the most obvious answer.
Yep, I was around for that. That was fun.
Yeah. That's the big one. Another would be, I mean, we've done some war scenarios in our our college campaign. Where there was a lot of behind the lines manipulation, especially when it came to medicine and supplies and stuff like that. So I mean, it's a kind of a sarcastic or not a kind of a dark answer, but that piece of it definitely reminds me of being in Necrod in at war with the Omlish.
Right.
So yeah, I would definitely say that as long as we don't start raising dead, we're good. But yeah, definitely the plague scenario and WoW would be
Cool.
the most appropriate.
What about you, Mew?
I was actually going to say a related event, the Scourge event from Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where people were being turned into Scourge and then chasing down other people to turn them into Scourge.
Right.
so stop gathering. They're going to come after you and turn you into Scourge.
I'm
a
a
Scourge now.
Thing, because if you remember from those events, people would get their pets infected with the plague, then dismiss them, go to the auction house, large gathering of people, pull their pet out, and yeah. So yes, Max, it's
Max
coming. That's and Max,
that's yours.
And Kazric just mentioned mine. So in SOTOR, there's a rat ghoul plague, and you have immunizations, but it's funny because you'll be on the fleet and they'll do announcements like, if you're caught with the rat ghoul plague, you're going to be fired out the nearest airlock. And there's, there are vaccines, but of course they wear out over time. So you have to remember to constantly keep them on. And if you're just standing around fleet and yours wears off, you'll get it. And it's an interesting thing to see these type of things in game and how people react to it, oh, it's not serious. Let's go see what trouble I can cause with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And then of course, there's on your phone and other things, Plague Incorporated.
Right. Oh yeah.
So
not as much fun anymore.
No. Exactly.
No. Mrs. Mew keeps asking, "Hey, so you want to play some Pandemic?" It's like
no,
really?
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah.
All that again reminds me is that we should probably go to Greenland right about now.
Yeah, no, exactly. So,
Right.
I actually had an interesting thing I wanted to bring up. If
Okay.
you had any good advice for it, this is probably a good time for a lot of the in-person D&D campaigns that are going on to maybe switch over to using remote setups.
Except for the fact that yesterday we used Roll20 for one of our games.
Mhm.
Actually, for one of our games, it took us 30 minutes to get in.
because it was overloaded.
Because everyone was using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So besides Roll20, there's also Fantasy Grounds, which is really great if you're a little more tech savvy.
Yeah.
So there's Fantasy Grounds, there's Roll20. I believe you can use D&D Beyond, of course.
With Discord and
If you do Theater of Mind, honestly, just use Discord for voice.
Yeah.
I also highly suggest, though, if you are a player who is in a game that runs virtually, please get a current PDF of your character, because that was our option. We could bring out the dice, or Talia, one of our players who's brilliant, did have had created a plugin for Discord to roll dice, but none of us had updated character sheets.
Yeah.
Mm.
So immediately, once we finally got in, we took care of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are definitely options there. But honestly, using Discord's voice for D&D works really great.
Yeah, and some people are even using Zoom because the Zoom is opening themselves up as well because they know that people need to use that kind of thing.
Well, a lot of schools are using Zoom now to do their classes virtually.
Because I believe the founder opened it up for free for schools, saying,
exactly.
"Go ahead. I want to have you use Zoom and see how fun it is, and maybe you'll pay for it once this is."
Yeah,
Right,
totally.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's a really great way to kind of use that technology, but also boost the exposure to that technology.
Yeah.
Because in a related way, I am one of the many companies that said a couple weeks ago, start working from home.
Yeah.
So we have all of our meetings on Zoom, including really fun, interesting backgrounds that people like to put up.
Yes.
Fun.
So it's like, huh, where are you calling in from today? Oh, it looks like San Francisco behind you.
Yeah.
Your wife did want to did confirm with me that Cam and I have been working from home for a long time, and we're both alive.
Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As had Mrs. Mew. She's been doing that for I don't know, 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah. No, she wanted to confirm that we're both working from home, and that everyone's alive in our house.
Yeah.
The shared office. My bestie, my virtual bestie Trey, her husband started work. They work from the same company, so they're both working from home.
Mhm.
And
Not a
Tet
good
and I
idea. He's
decided
not gonna
that
survive.
Nope. He's not going to survive.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Kazrick, yes. No treaty, no vaccine,
and no Lieutenant Yar.
Yar. You are very correct.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone saw it, but Steam posted yesterday they hit 20 million consecutive online using Steam, which is a record for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At the same time, 20 million consecutive. So,
Mhm.
a lot of it's interesting. It's interesting how much of this, now that there's a need, can be solved for stuff that we're saying you could do this, and like, no, we need people in the office.
Right,
and
right.
It's like,
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You really, really don't. There was one of the schools back east. They have Wi-Fi enabled school buses, and what they've been doing is parking those school buses in neighborhoods where they have poor internet connection or no internet connection for their students and families to be able to use to stay in touch and stay online, which I thought was a really cool solution.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, the current joke among us is, well, we're going to see how many of these in-office meetings actually can just be an email.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Back to the original question, but slightly off topic, and he's gonna probably kill me for mentioning this.
Uh-oh.
If anybody is running a online Force and Destiny campaign, Marcus is looking to play.
There you go.
He asked me if I knew of anybody. I did not, but Marcus is your man, guys.
Yeah.
Now's the time to start creating them, honestly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's distract ourselves with some fun alternative realms.
Yep, exactly. And, like everything else, just take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Have some patience. Things will be slow and, people get up to speed. Online services will be overwhelmed. Just, work on it. The people in your
Yep.
house are probably your family. Say hi to them. You
Hi
may
to
not
them.
recognize them.
Can you
Yeah.
please let our daughter know this?
Yeah.
Is that the one that's renting the room upstairs?
I don't know. Speaking of it, did second daughter come home yet? I think I heard.
I
come
think I
in.
just heard. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So.
Also, guys, completely off topic, but still, let's support your local businesses, especially the small ones.
Yeah. Because
I
they're
was
going to
just
be
reading
hurting it
that-
this time.
Yeah. So if you're gaming stores, if you go out and do community games there, a lot of them are probably getting canceled. So,
Yep.
but still make sure you're going there, getting your supplies, getting your dice. We all know we want dice. Go and browse for new board games to pick up, to play with those strangers that live in the house with you. New games, new RPGs to play.
Right.
Yep. And a lot of these places are offering curbside pickup, drive-up
Mhm.
pickup.
Yeah.
They're all you have to do is say, "Hey, I want this thing." They'll bring it out to you. You don't have to worry about being in a store you're not sure if it's clean enough for you. Whatever your needs are, like they still want to sell you stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Because unlike all the emails we've gotten from regular stores, most of your small businesses are not going to be emailing you and say, "Here's what we're doing."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've been getting emails from companies I didn't know I had.
Good.
I didn't. How did you
Right.
have
Yeah.
an email?
Exactly. Like I didn't
I
know.
knew
I
exactly-
didn't remember
yeah.
giving you my email, but thanks.
Thanks.
I
I
thought
was
you could
actually
talk
not
to-
worried about Target, but thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
that's our community service announcement
PSA.
of PSA, support small businesses, and look for games online and stuff to play with your family.
Yep. Exactly. This is a
This is
great
a-
time. I'll put a Hunts the Wind plug in here. This is a great time to go open that closet you don't use,
Mhm.
and in there are probably a bunch of boxes that have, if you rattle the boxes a little bit, they probably sound like they have some parts loose in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are board games. Get
Yeah.
them out, sit around.
Yeah.
Play at the table. Play with the people that are in your house. They're probably your family. It's okay. No, you're kidding.
And
it's
if you're
not.
looking for suggestions, I'm actually going to throw some names out on Twitter to talk to. Hunts the Wind, Mew Cow,
Yep.
Denoria, my friend Amy. She works in a gaming shop. I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's a lot of great resources. Also, utilize the Discord channel. Say, hey, I'm looking for a game to play. Who's suggesting something? Because it's not only playing online, but it's that fun interaction with your family and the
Yep.
people around you.
And the other thing is highly recommended if you aren't watching it and you enjoy Star
God, so
Trek,
good.
please watch Picard
good.
because
So
it
good.
is
Picard's
getting really good.
Really good. We're a
Yeah.
few episodes behind, but it's
Oh.
definitely filling in that need for epic drama in a universe that I know, but expanding it.
Yep.
That it's Mandalorians is in production right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's definitely filling that fabulous need.
Yep.
And if you ever need suggestions on like Netflix shows to binge watch, whatever, just reach out to McCullough. She will let you know what
The October
you know.
Faction. Watch it. Watch it.
Exactly.
And if you want something really cheesy, go watch The Order. It's dumb, but it's good.
Yeah.
Expanse has been real good.
Castlevania third season just came out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So go watch
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah, it's excellent. The Crown, if you want to fall asleep to something British, as our roommate does often. Oh,
Yep.
Kingdom. Kingdom. Yep.
Frozen 2
Yep.
just hit Disney Plus.
Yeah. And Rise of the Skywalker,
Cruise
they
coming
released
out.
early, and Frozen 2 as well on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Yep. And I've been watching a lot of anime on Hulu. They've got My Academia or My Hero Academia.
Right.
on
Yeah.
there.
Cordling's into that one.
Yep. And if you have plenty of time, there's a full season and a current season of Matt Mercer running an online game. They're 3-hour episodes each, and there's a ton
It's
of
a
There you
videos
little
go.
out
game
there.
called
You
Critical
could
Role.
binge watch Critical
Critical
Role.
Role. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. True. Yeah. Yeah. Or
And
just-
if you're into, and I want to plug another one. If you're into games like Critical Role, but want to watch some Felted Friends instead, watch Perception Check. It's the
Ooh.
same setup with very similar people. In fact, a lot of the same people I think bounce between the two games as guests. But there's a couple of Felted Friends that used to work for Disney, so they're really good at what they do.
Yep.
I highly recommend them. That they have a whole channel of stuff that they do now.
Neat.
Yep.
And there is a recent blog post that Max just brought up. Basically, get the family to come play in AIE games.
Yes.
There's a blog post from March called "Better Together and Closing the Distance." So take a look
Yes.
at that on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got
and
guildies waiting to play with you.
Yeah, exactly. AIE Discord, it's free. Anyone can join. Please
It's on
join.
your phone.
They're constantly like I'm looking right now. We've got a couple people in the WoW channel. We've got
Yeah,
4
yeah.
people in the
The Division
in the
channel's
Division
pretty
2
busy.
channel, but I
yeah.
think Doris is also listening to the podcast. So, feel free to hop in.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of channels. We've got a ton of
Do you
community
need to hear
stuff.
Say if you want to hear some voices, there's voices that are connected to there. Do you need to see some people? You could
Yeah.
Discord, as we're using Discord right now, the video feed.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, you can get your social interaction virtually if you need it.
Yep.
Even like at work, we're actually my boss actually set up a virtual Zoom room to just leave open all day.
Oh, neat.
Just
So
so
it's a break room.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
go
no,
in there when you're drinking your coffee.
no, it's while you're working, so you can pretend that you're still sitting next to each other at the desk.
Neat.
Kind of thing.
Neat.
So you can just have all the background noise and stuff going on. So you can do the same thing in gaming. You just leave it open and
Yeah.
talk. And
Yeah. Yeah.
And a pro tip, just so you know, if your work somehow pulls you into Discord, please make sure that you go into the Discord preferences and turn off where it shows what you're currently doing in Discord,
Yeah.
because the last thing you want to do is be caught in an online meeting playing WoW.
yeah. And here's another
Cat
pro tip.
knows. Oh, sorry.
Another
not
pro
me,
tip
yes.
for
I know.
when you get, if you get pulled into Discord, be mindful of your Discord username when
Yeah.
logging into your work Discord. Maybe even create a whole nother Discord account,
Probably
because there's
a good
been some
idea.
fun times of people logging in with some very curious Discord logins, and you're just like, huh, so you had some emo lord stuff going on when you were younger, didn't you?
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, my
Whoops,
name.
how do I change my name?
my name came from my name actually came from an old coworker. So I think anybody who knows me would not be, like
Yeah.
if I happened to have to use Discord for work and I had, kept my profile, they would know it's me.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, I think that is going to be our show for tonight. While the chat
Pardon
room
our
begins
rambling.
suggesting show titles, we want to thank ourselves for joining us. Yay! No, we want to
Yay!
thank the chat room for
Yes!
joining us. The chat
Thank
room
you,
makes this
guys.
show.
You make it so
Yes.
much fun.
Yep.
Thank you for talking
don't
to us,
forget-
so we don't think we're talking to the void.
Yep, exactly. And don't forget, after the show, stay on the AIE Discord. If you go up one channel from the AIE podcast, there's a channel called Content-Creators. Take a look through there, see who's streaming, join in their streams, and see what's going on.
Yep. All right. So if you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at The Mew Cow. Makala is at Cyberwaif. Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Max time. And you can join the chat room and play along with us at our website, aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is at aieguild.info/discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at keyswithsoul on Twitter, or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com, which changed as I was saying things.
We have not updated that on the template yet, so
Yeah.
remind me to do that when I get rid of the and
I will.
add the next time.
Yeah, which is interesting because I've heard it changing in other podcasts too. So I was wondering if that was
Right,
coming.
right. Okay, and now time to play all the great AI member segments this week. We including, hey guys, we don't have any. You got time on your hand. Please feel free to submit one to us.
Maybe soon. Maybe now that Blizzard remember that they have alts in this game. Maybe they'll have
Yeah.
We can
content
record
soon.
altitis. Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
imagine that.
All right. Well, next time we are resurrecting the game division, so I will be going after all the officers and people of interest from the game divisions, and we will have a game-specific podcast theme next time. But until then,
Excellent.
AIE, this is Tetsemi,
This is Mukau.
This is Makala.
and this has been the AIE Podcast.
Dun, dun.
Yay! All right.
I'm all right. So we have some really great title suggestions here, guys.
Yep.
Guildies helping guildies. Want to play some Pandemic?
Yeah.
Like good actual. That's my suggestion, or that's my vote's going there. Recommending binge watching. Get your social interaction virtually. Social distance doesn't apply here. Better together. Which chord? Discord. I really want to play some Pandemic. Is that wrong?
Yes.
Jen would be very happy to hear that, I'm sure.
All right, I think we
Can we
kind of
please?
have to go with that.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the best. That makes my little black heart happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who suggested that one?
Tiber did.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiber,
Yeah.
AK Tiber.
I like it.
All right. Well, thank you, chat room. We are actually going to bow out because we need to get to
Yep.
an early St. Patty's Day dinner. Yeah.
Which means Ted and the Hordling will be eating all the corned beef that
All
they
the corned
possibly
beef.
can,
Yep.
and I'll be eating all the soda bread.
Save some for me.
No, you're eating corned beef.
I know. So, Tiber, always expect us to do the unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was witty and slightly dark, and I liked it a lot.
Exactly. I mean, come on. You gotta have a reasonable dark humor. So
Yeah, stuff's weird. I'm gonna,
exactly.
we're gonna laugh about it sometimes, or you cry.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Every
chat
now and-
room. We will talk to you later.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.